Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Drinks with Johnny. I am super excited today. I am joined by a couple of guys that are going to be joining me on the stage in Amsterdam at the end of June here. Two of the dudes from Polyphia. We got Tim Henson and Scott LePage. How the hell are you guys doing today?
Doing great, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing fucking fantastic. I had a beautiful morning waking up. I did a little bit of yoga this morning. Got a little loose. Listened to some Polyphia. Went through the catalog as much as I could before you guys were coming on. Not that I wasn't familiar before, but you know it's good to get ready for the guests before they're coming on, man. And I gotta say, first, right off the bat, I guarantee it's the first thing everyone thinks of when they hear Polyphia is, where the fuck did you guys learn how to play guitar? Because this is fucking insane. Like I'm listening to it, and from day one. Obviously, you have the classical styles that are in there, the jazz. I mean, you're really pulling from every virtuoso who's ever done it and meshing it all into like one or two guitar players here. You guys are prolific musicians. How did it all start for you two?
I would say that's a pretty good description, Scott, right? Like grabbing all the virtuoso players and putting it into one thing.
Yeah, actually.
Because, like a lot of...
All right, well, the interview's done. I already nailed it. See you guys. Thanks so much for being here.
a lot of our style, like at the beginning, when we first started playing together, Scott and I were in high school. And at that time in our, guitar playing careers as high schoolers, we had developed the skills of dad guitar playing and death metal guitar playing. So like those two specific styles of playing, like that's what we knew. We both. Wait,
what was that first one? Maybe the internet broke up there a little bit. Did you say dad style of playing?
Yes, dad style of playing.
What is dad style?
Okay, exactly what it sounds like. It's when a dad shows you how to play guitar.
Okay.
And you're playing dad licks. Like for example, Scott, one of the first records that we ever learned by ear was Black Sabbath, right?
Yeah, Paranoid. More specifically.
Yeah.
Wow,
like
fucking
just on separate
record.
timelines. Like, I was 10 years old, Scott, you were what, 10 or 11?
Something like that.
Yeah. Like just separately, both of our dads showed us Black Sabbath, and then we started learning Paranoid by ear. And so like that is honestly such a wonderful thing. That record is such a wonderful thing for a beginner guitar player, because lots of cool sounding riffs and they're easy to figure out, and so there's a lot of like gratification and satisfaction as a new player there.
I gotta say, in so many ways, Tim, though, I don't mean to cut you off, but in so many ways, you just insulted like a whole generation saying it's easy and everything. Guitar players, I gotta tell you, man, we used to listen to the Paranoid album thinking, damn, Tony Iommi's got it. Like, this is fucking insane, which he does, of course. But
yeah, no,
you're talking more chops, when you're talking about writing that stuff, though, and how prolific it was. I mean, Black Sabbath, fucking give it to them,
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, that's how we felt when we listened to those records. That's why we wanted to learn it, was because it's those guitar parts are like incredible, and they're cool as hell, and they make sense on the fretboard. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's a clear path to follow. Like in the way that fingers move in relation to the fretboard. So yeah, I mean, Scott and I have all the respect for everything that like Black Sabbath has done, and that's, like I said, why we wanted to learn the music, because it is sick as fuck. But as a beginner guitar player, I do think that like it's a great, like, you can hear that, because there's a lot. Most of the riffs are pentatonic, right? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just a great starting point if you want to learn something by ear. And you're just starting out with guitar. Black Sabbath's Paranoid is like a great one to go with. Like, how many people's first riff is like Iron Man, right?
Oh yeah, when you first pick up the guitar, it's definitely one of the ones you want to learn. And maybe you don't learn the whole first riff, but you definitely grab that open E past the bridge and just pull it down to get that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's one of the first things you do. You plug in a guitar and you got the distortion rolling, and you're like, "What kind of sounds can I make?" Oh yeah, the Iron Man thing before
Iron Man
Ozzy
is one of the most
declares it.
iconic riffs ever. You know?
There's something so magical about the power chord.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And that whole
Absolutely.
riff is just power chords, you know?
Dude, it's so
The
strong.
riff is so strong that the vocal melody just follows it, but
Literally
almost
that.
almost the
Literally
entire
that.
thing. Like that's
So
incredible.
good. Yeah, the fifth though, like from that power chord, like it brings like a sense of like finality and like you know, there's no other like colors that it could be. It just locks it into the one and the five, you know?
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's just fucking awesome. But anyways, so like Dad Licks, right? And then also Scott and I were really into like Whitechapel and Job for a Cowboy and Despised Icon and fucking like all these like crazy ass bands. Like who else? Like Beneath the Massacre, like
Oh yeah.
the
Gotta rep.
Faceless, like yeah,
Damn.
just like all
Yeah.
these like super heavy, like crazy
Tim, do you
bands.
remember In Hell Followed With?
Fuck yeah, hell
They
yeah,
just put out a new song.
really.
Yeah, that's
Who
why I
is
was
this?
thinking
I
about him.
feel I feel so out of the loop here, guys. Like I knew about 2 of the 10 bands you just named off before you fucking went off on this tangent.
Which ones did you know?
I don't even know. The Buried.
It's really Job for a Cowboy, right?
Yeah, I've
Hell
heard of them.
yeah.
I'm not super familiar though. Like you guys, like I could hear in your guys' music, you've obviously listened to, everything under the sun and newer shit that I know we called them
Dude.
dad licks, but those were kid licks when I was growing up. So
Oh yeah. Tim,
you
I'm
guys
sure
you guys are
felt
just like
this,
2 years younger than me. It's no big deal. I get it.
All right, cool. Cool, yeah. Yeah, I just shit, I'm about to be 31, dude. Damn.
Oh, that's a fun. So you're
Yeah.
30 right now?
My back hurts. Yeah.
Don't even talk to
30.
me like that, Scott.
30 right
Don't
now,
even
dude.
talk
I'm
to me.
starting to grow outwards and no longer
I
this way.
just turned
You know?
30.
You just turned 30. Happy birthday, Tim, and happy birthday to you. Happy belated to both of you.
Thank
30
you.
is a big one, man. You guys just look even younger than that. I hope you don't. I mean, that's a compliment. You guys look younger than 30. That's why I'm a little
Thank
surprised
you.
here. But yeah,
We try
like
to be in good health.
health. Yeah. I mean, you got to be. You guys have been doing this for a lot longer than I realized. Let's go back to that real quick. That's a kind of a segue. Like, so you guys have been. You guys formed this in 2010? I think I saw. You guys formed this band together.
That sounds about
Yes.
right. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you go through. There was just a couple other musicians that came in and played with you guys, but it's been the same lineup since about 2016, from what I can see.
Yes.
And yeah, so I say all that to go back to the story of how you guys began, which brings me to the first song that I heard from you guys, which was just last year, Zachy Vengeance. We're carpooling to like rehearsal or something we're doing up in LA, and he's like, "Have you heard Polyphia?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." So he puts it on. The first song I hear is Genesis, with bass tracks,
All right.
and I was hooked, man. That was my song right there. I was like, "Oh shit, this is fucking different and cool." I don't often go to strictly instrumental music unless I'm listening to classical or jazz usually, but I gotta say the way you guys did it, it's fucking smooth. Like that's the
Thank
one
you.
thing. Like it's not, as I said at the very top of this thing, the first thing you hear is your guys' chops. You're prolific musicians, as I said. But what I gravitate towards it more is you guys have like a smooth groove like throughout, and I think that is equally or more impressive in my mind than just being able to shred.
Well, thank you. And I think that's so cool that your intro to us was Genesis. Like
Yeah.
that. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Me neither. I would say that's a pretty solid first impression.
Dude, yeah, I know.
Like-
If I wanted to like impress somebody, I'd be like, yeah, I'd pull that one out because it's musical, you know?
Well, that's funny, man. That was just the first song that I heard. I didn't know and the funny thing is I didn't know the title of the track until much later. And then it's like Genesis and the first one I heard. And we're going to be playing shows with these guys. This is all a little
Let's
this is
go.
lining up a little too easy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we'll probably definitely be playing that one with you guys. So,
Oh, sick.
it'll be for you, dude. We'll
All
play.
right,
Yeah, dude,
hey.
that one
Hey,
was a cool.
we'll do it before the crowd gets into the arena. I'm just gonna be the only one. I want to be the only one in the arena.
Yeah, come
You
come
just play
hang
a
out
show
for
to
our
me.
sound check. You're more than welcome to.
Well, let's get into that. This last record you guys released in 2022, though. Man, you guys have like a lot of these features on it, which are, I mean, I've noticed that you've had some of those throughout, but like you got some heavy hitters on this one, man. You got Bloodbath with Chino is a phenomenal song, by the way. Congratulations on that one.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. That one
We're
that one came out pretty fucking awesome, I think. Dude, Chino just rules.
Oh yeah, we're stoked that you know, Chino's involvement, and it's just a cool legendary thing that happened. And same with like Steve, like and like just also a legendary thing
Yeah,
that
and
we got to have happen on
Death
this
Ego. I
record.
see this, and going into that real quick, I see the Steve Vai feature, and that one makes like more sense in a weird way. You know what I mean? Because when I listen to you guys play, I got to imagine you listened to some Steve Vai growing up, right?
Yeah, I definitely like his part in the movie Crossroads was like
Mm.
an awakening for me. Um, and then seeing the Tender Surrender video of that like performance from the 80s or whatever, just like I pulled that one up right now and just it'll still blow my mind. But
And then of course Halo 2.
Halo
Halo 2.
2,
Gotta give
let's
that one.
go.
Dude, I was playing that game with my friend in middle school, and we got up to, well, when you start the game, it like, guitar shit. But there's a part somewhere in the middle of the game where you're like fighting the Covenant or something like that. And then like this crazy solo is going on. And me and my friend
Mm.
looked at each other and we were like, that's got to be Steve Vai, right? Like we had no idea. We're just like kids at this point with, limited internet access. So we couldn't just like go search it real quick. We're like, dude, that's probably Steve Vai. He's got a very recognizable, and it was Steve Vai.
You guys are blowing
But
my mind right now because I played that game. First of all, two things. Halo 2 came out. We were doing City of Evil and playing each other in Halo in the studio at the time.
hell yeah,
And then I was today years old, as the kids say on the social media, when I learned that Steve Vai was on that soundtrack. I had no idea.
dude, that's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, that was him. Cool as
Yeah,
fuck.
that's him, dude.
That's wild, man. I mean, I got to go back and play the game now again. I got to dust it off. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, just sidebar real quick. Our game, I think it's awesome that you guys have or had rather, like an album game that you played. Ours has always been GTA 5. Anytime we're like
Sick.
in the studio, and there's a TV and a PlayStation there, we gotta bust out the GTA 5. Pretty soon
Dude, the
it'll be
funny
sick.
thing is,
Dude,
yes, the funny thing is that like every album, it's been GTA 5. That's how long GTA 5 has
I
been.
know, just like a solid 10 years at this point.
That's that is funny. So every album's been the same
the
game.
same game. Like
Yeah.
because like pre GTA 5, we weren't making records, and then like there hasn't been a GTA 6 yet.
Not
Driving
yet.
around the same Porsche,
Oh
Porsche,
man,
rather.
dude, and the same R8, the
Porsche.
same fucking. Oh man,
Well,
Oh,
everyone at home, like who maybe hasn't been a part of a recording process, maybe like, well, what the fuck are they doing? Why are they playing video games in the studio? Well, there's a lot of downtime. You got different people track it at different times, so you got a lot of downtime as well in those studios, right?
oh yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like it's good to take downtime, to like give yourself like a break from the process, even,
Oh
especially
yeah.
because what we do a lot is like what we did for this past record was like go places, not good places. For the new records, we're gonna go to nice places, new like cool places, nature places. But for this past record, we went to places like Airbnbs in Detroit. And they're not great.
Why?
And
But why? I have a curious.
well,
Yeah. And you went to.
Do you
Did you record these in the Airbnbs? Are you saying that, or did you go there to write and then went into a studio?
Yeah. Actually,
right, and then also some of the same takes were used from those like sessions.
Okay.
here's a
But yeah,
nice
just because
canon real quick. Sorry, Tim.
yeah.
The Genesis, one of those Genesis riffs was recorded in one of those Airbnbs. Just a little fun fact.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So you
So
can get the picture in your head.
Which one?
The ending.
Definitely the bit at the end
Okay.
where like the tempo, not the tempo, but the feel changes
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. That one was in Tim, not the box elder one, the other one, right? Are you familiar with the box elder bug?
No.
We are.
Dude, Google that real quick.
We are.
What
Yeah, let's
is it?
see.
Yeah, the box elder bug.
Box elder bug. That's what I got to look up right now? Let me see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then what you want to see is the images of them like in clusters.
Alexa, pull up the box elder bug.
Oh, he's got the fucking, you got the one
Oh,
with the screen. You got the one with
they
the
have
screen over
friend.
there.
No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
No. Oh.
I wish. I wish, dude.
Oh, I see it. What, did you guys have a fucking Airbnb full of these bastards?
Dude, we had a box elder bug infestation.
What?
I have not so far on Google Images seen a cluster of as many as we saw. I actually have a video
This was
of
in
it.
Detroit?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in Detroit
Mm.
somewhere.
Ouch.
Yeah,
dude.
and like we thought it was cursed. I was like afraid, because for a minute there, like it was just me and Scott in the Airbnb, and my room was upstairs and his room was downstairs. So at night, like I'd have to go to a separate floor, like all alone, and like upstairs was where the box elder bug infestation was really like going crazy. And then like when you walk up there, they had this like really weird like bathroom with like a red light. And
What?
now in hindsight, like, the red light is good for you, but like it just freaked me out, because it was a red light bulb,
Yeah, but that's
in
not the
this
same thing as
bathroom.
red light. Just a red light bulb in a sketchy fucking room is not the same as the healthy red light you're getting going to one of those spas.
Yeah, sure. Like I'm trying to rationalize the experience so I can heal
I'm
from
just
it now.
picturing a really fucked up hostile environment for you
Dude,
guys.
it was like really awful because they had like this like goat head statue in there in the bathroom with the red light and like candles by the bathroom. So I'm like, dude, they're conducting like rituals and shit in
For
this
sure.
fucking house. Like, and yeah, I was just like not feeling that place, but we did get some like cool ideas out of that.
Do you
Out of the
feel like that
session.
place, maybe that darkness and that weirdness, it maybe inspired a few things?
I mean,
Maybe,
I can
but
go without it. I can have inspiration without
You're
the
like,
box
I'd
elder.
rather not use that inspiration.
Yeah, but
That's funny.
we did a bunch of sessions at my house in LA, back when I was living in LA, where the boys and like other like producers and artists would just like come like stay at my house, and we'd kind of just like in every room like writing is going on, and that's kind of like honestly so fucking fun because like we can like meet in like the main room and like listen to all the ideas and then decide who's going to work on what, and then you can go from like room to room like listening to the people's shit and just kind of see how the project like develops.
Oh, that's
It's a really
cool.
fun like collaborative process like
That's
in that
interesting.
way.
That's really cool. The way I'm picturing that, Tim, is kind of like Silicon Valley when they're putting together
Yes, like a
apps and
trap
shit
house.
yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool, man. I've never heard
Yeah,
of
so
music been put together that way.
Scott,
What do
what
we
I
do,
want to
Tim?
do, what I
Huh?
want to do for the next one. So I've been watching all the like the making of Jesus and the making of my beautiful twist, my beautiful sick twist dark fantasy or whatever the fuck however I'm trying to say that. And basically he would like go to like Hawaii and shit, and everybody would go out there with them, and in the mornings they would have breakfast together, and then they would go to the gym, play basketball or work out, like just get like be active, and this is like a camp of like a ton of people because it's Kanye, right?
Right.
And then as soon as they're done with the gym, they all go into the studio, and on the studio he's got like fucking rules on the wall of shit, like funny shit, like don't look at bad press, like um like more funny things, like fucking don't put my shit on like a Instagram story or some shit like that. Like something Kanye specific, right? But like just the whole like everybody's doing the same thing at the same time, and like the once you get in the studio, like after you've done the breakfast and the working out, like you just work all fucking day. And so that's what I want to do, Scott, is like go somewhere fucking like really nice, like an island somewhere, and like fly a bunch of people out and just be in it, you know?
That
Um,
sounds awesome and productive.
yes,
Yeah.
right?
So
Yeah,
you guys
dude.
said you guys were doing Airbnbs before. You mentioned there, Tim, you lived in LA for a little bit, but I know you guys you grew up in Texas, right, Tim? So where did
Yes.
you guys find each other in 2010? Like, let's go back to, for lack of a better pun, the
We gotta go
genesis of
way earlier,
Polyphia.
actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. I'm guessing you guys,
Yeah.
obviously you talked about the dad licks earlier, so you guys were already playing guitar and knew each other through that. So what was it? What was your guys' first meeting of each other before you even think about putting a band together?
So Scott lived 5 minutes from me. And so we went to the same elementary school. And so I was in
Whoa.
kindergarten and Scott was in first grade. And Scott's like always been the tall kid. And he's always had like long hair. And he used to dye it like fucking pitch black and wear like these like metal shirts, even as like a young kid.
In kindergarten
So
or
like
like just in elementary school?
Like,
like I guess like middle school was when the dyed
Okay.
black hair and the metal shirts and shit
'Cause
happened. But
I
he
was
was
just
always
picturing a
yeah, like
4-year-old, a 5-year-old,
seven.
and I was like, damn, dude, that's going hard in the paint.
he was always tall though, you know. So like
Okay.
especially like the kid in the grade above, like you're like, oh, that motherfucker's tall. Yeah, and then
Mm.
you know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
but that's my story of Scott.
Well, so you see him though. Like, what grade are you? You're in kindergarten and first grade, and that's when you guys were you guys friends then, or was like you just looked up to him and you're like, oh, that's the tall kid
We didn't
we
hang out till middle school.
till middle school. Okay, you guys went
yeah,
to the
because
same
the
elementary, but
way
you guys didn't become friends until middle school.
yeah, because elementary school is like you really kind of only see people in your
Your
grade,
class.
yeah,
Yeah.
your class even.
Yeah, you get the one
Um,
class and then the recess.
yeah, and
Mm.
then every other kid in every other grade is just like, who the fuck is that? I've never seen that person ever. Like you'll walk past someone new every day. Anyway, middle school is, somewhere open because for our school it was like three grades just lumped in like a building. So you kind of like walk all over the place. So you see a lot of new people and just everyone like all the time. But I'd say my earliest memory of the only one I can remember of us kind of really hanging out for the first time was actually the same dude that I would play Halo 2 with every weekend of sixth grade. And I mean that literally every single weekend. Um, he would have like, his parents were super like lax about like sleepovers and shit. So he would just invite like fucking 10 people and we'd have like a Halo 2 party and we get the Doritos and the sodas, like the big old 2 liter
what?
bottles of sodas.
Yeah. What were your flavors? What would you go with?
Let's see. Soda, we would usually get Coke, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, because
Mountain Dew.
the
Middle
kids
school
loved
Mountain Dew
Mountain Dew
goes hand
back
in
then.
hand.
The time that
Sprite.
I went one time to one of these sleepovers, and this is like when I met Scott,
Yeah,
like
this
in
is the memory.
yeah, we had Monster that night,
You guys had
and
Monster
Monster.
Energy.
yeah, because
Okay.
it was like because I remember like you know I was like in sixth grade and I was gonna go to a sleepover with the seventh graders, right? And
Ooh.
like I remember it was like a thing where like they were gonna show me Clerks 2, the movie Clerks 2. And so we watched Clerks 2 that night and drank Monster, like, and stayed up like really late because that was like, I just remember thinking like this is what seventh graders do, you know?
They get crazy on Monster Energy drink, eat
Yeah.
Doritos.
Mhm.
Fucking
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
What Dorito flavors though? Did you just go straight nacho cheese, bring in some Cool Ranch? What are you doing here?
Exactly that. Yes.
All right, all
I was
right.
more so the Cool Ranch guy.
And when you guys are having these sleepovers, obviously mostly gaming, video games. We were all in middle school. I did that maybe not every weekend, but every so often. Super fun, good bonding experience, all that good stuff there. But when you're busting out a movie like Clerks 2, had you guys watched anything from Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes before, or is this like your introduction to Jay and Silent Bob?
I had seen
That
some
was
of the
my
Jay and Silent
introduction.
Bob
That was
movies.
your introduction. Okay.
Actually, I think the only one I saw was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay.
and then like we saw Clerks 2 first, and then I went to Clerks. I never did see Mallrats. I know that
Oof.
one exists though.
That was my first one.
But I do like I don't know if I follow him anymore on whatever social media, but I was aware of Kevin Smith's like existence, and I would kind of just like watch him like on social media, like whatever the fuck he was up to because he posts a lot.
Mm.
That's really all. That's it though.
That's so
Nothing
funny to me
like
to come
impactful.
into Clerks 2 being his first. Yours, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Like I said, mine's Mallrats. Huge Jay and Silent Bob fan from when I was, like I said, from when I was a kid and stuff. It's just interesting to go to Clerks 2 first, the sequel to like
Oh
their
yeah.
like, real first movie. Like,
Honestly,
so that's so different.
I think it was just whatever we could get our hands on at Blockbuster at the time.
Shout out
You
to
know, as
Blockbuster.
kids.
Hell yeah. Soda
Yeah.
Pop,
Fucking-
Doritos,
that
and
particular
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster on Coit and Legacy, dude. I
Yes,
love
dude.
fucking
Oh, that
Coit.
one. They had a sick candy setup too.
Yeah.
God damn, we're really going down memory lane now.
Dude, it's
Hell
a
yeah,
fucking
I love it.
Starbucks now, right?
So wait, in middle school though,
Yeah, I
you
guess
guys,
it is.
is this a PG party in that sense? Are you guys sneaking beers, sneaking some weed? What are you doing?
This is prior to that. I
Okay.
think like
Yeah.
I think that was gonna happen like a year later or
Okay.
something.
Yeah,
But
I didn't get introduced to weed until ninth or 10th grade.
yeah, and so in high school, Scott and I started playing together, and then we would do these sleepovers at that time, but we would call them shredovers because
Yeah.
Scott
Yeah,
would
the
come
shredovers.
and fucking like I would get super fucking high. This is prior to Scott like smoking weed, and I would get super high, and then we would like play guitar all night, and then come down and like make toaster strudels and watch like Adult Swim. And
So good.
those were the fucking days, man.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
dude,
so
that's when we
funny.
were cooking up fucking Resurrect, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the very first project, Resurrect,
Oh my God.
not on streaming services. We love
Oh.
that.
Yeah. And we, by the way, I want you to know we would call the toaster strudels shit cookies.
Ah,
I
shit cookies.
I don't know why we named them that, but wait, is that what, or was that just because we made that silly video of us like,
We made the silly video, and then it became shit cookies.
right? Yeah, we put like a bunch of raw eggs and like fucking whatever we could find in Tim's refrigerator. And
Oh
like
yeah,
a
it was
pan.
fucked up. Like just for no reason. Like imagine kids in high school with like a fucking, video camera. Like this is prior to fucking like video phones,
Yeah.
like a video camera, and like just finding everything you can find in a kitchen and throwing like it into a pan, like rotten eggs and fucking like all sorts of bullshit. And then pretending like we're gonna cook it, and then the end result is actually
Where is this video? Where's this video?
this video is located on my member section of my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to become a member of
There it
my
is.
channel, please do that. You can find this exact footage that we are speaking of from the high school days of Tim and Scott. It exists as a video.
I might have to subscribe, dude.
Somebody please give Scott a sub.
Yeah, give me a sub.
I'll do it.
It's
X
funny
amount
to
of
hear the similarities though, guys. Though, because when I was in middle school and high school, we'd get together with different musicians and garage bands that I was in, and it was a lot of kind of what you described. There's been a few times when we threw together whatever we could when we were, maybe a little stony jamming, and then fucking throwing some food together, and you make some stupid shit together. We never did the video though. None of us had a camcorder, I don't think.
Yeah, it was like this is like right when YouTube really kind of like was taking off. And honestly, like dude, like right before that, like YouTube had really taught me how to play guitar, because like I would just get on YouTube and like look at people playing guitar and like mimic their movements, because like prior to that, like I don't know what people did, but like you'd have to buy like DVDs and shit, right?
Oh yeah, I could tell you what we did prior to that.
And just like pick it up, listen to it.
Yeah, it was a lot of by ear. When I was in middle school, internet was still fairly new. I mean, the internet itself wasn't new, but like the everyday person being able to use it, right? Like going to the .coms and stuff. And they usually had tablature places. And
Right.
half the tab was wrong. So you had to, you used the tab kind of as like a
guide.
starting point. It was like a starting point. Like kind of like if I was having trouble finding the key, I could go to the tab and be like, okay, I see where this is wrong, but I see that they at least started in the right place. I'll figure out the rest from there. And that was kind of the thing. And then it's interesting to hear you talk about the YouTube era because I see that now and look back and I go, God, it's so great for the new generation of musicians to have access to this. And it's also interesting to hear you say, Tim, that's how you learn. Because I mean, when I listen to both you guys play, I expected you guys to tell me that share your stories of these amazing teachers you had. Did you guys take lessons at all?
I did for a couple of years because I remember going back to what Tim said. Our dads taught us like all the dad shit, like the pentatonic scale, best scale in the world.
Both your fathers played guitar then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dad, I almost called you dad. Tim, your dad still plays, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
at least a little bit here and there.
yeah. So my dad taught me the pentatonic scale, and he taught me the G, C, D, A, B, F chords. Like your basic shapes, and then kind of pointed me in the direction of Black Sabbath and said, "Go learn that by ear." And then from there, like it just started like he just started giving me CDs of like shit to learn by ear. And then from there, like just getting to like, dude, do you fucking Scott? Do you remember this video? It was Canon in D, and it was a black guitar with a gold faceplate.
I do remember. Holy shit, dude!
Dude,
You just unlocked the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm tripping the fuck out. What the hell?
I'll send you
What
this
is
video
this?
so that you have it, so you can put it in like the corner or
Yeah,
something.
please do. Because what is this video? What is this video?
Yeah, it's like hold on, let me just see on YouTube real quick if it exists.
I have to see the thumbnail at least.
Yeah, it should just be Canon in D guitar.
Canon in D?
Yeah.
Oh
my God, here it is.
Oh
called
my
Canon
fucking
Rock.
God, dude.
18 million views 17 years ago. So yes, that video was like the first video that I saw on YouTube, like that of guitar playing that just like I was like, holy fucking shit, dude. And it blew my mind. And so like I just like we got to like have like MySpace and discover like all these new bands. And dude, I remember fucking like in sixth grade they had MTV, and MTV used to have like Hard Rock Countdown and fucking dude, that's how I got turned on to y'all. I remember seeing the Backcountry is the name of the song.
Yep.
Dude, oh my fucking God. Like that video blew my mind. Like the guitar playing, like I think the whole concept of like seeing like two guitar players in a band was like so ingrained into me at that time, because you'd get y'all like Coheed and Cambria on that like top countdown thing. And then like Children of Bodom and like just like the dual guitar player thing like was so fucking cool. Like but yeah, like just that was such a fun time to like discover stuff. And then like from there, like I would see like y'all and be like, okay, I gotta go learn that shit. And then look up like videos of people playing it, of you guys playing it, and fucking like just mimic the movements, and from there like doing that to like all the other players. And you just kind of accumulate like all the little tricks and tips of every little thing that you learn. Right. And I think something too that like can bridge the gap between dad licks and death metal to now is the fact that we've been so blessed to have so many incredible guitar players play on our records. And a lot of the times is like we have to like go play this shit live, and so we'll like learn the solos and like sections of these other players, and they're we're featuring players from all different styles, right? And there's some of the best players in the world at what they do, right? And so getting to or really being forced to learn these because by our own accord, really forces growth in terms of like, musical expansion, I guess. At least in the terms of like guitar playing. But
Right. No, I hear. I mean, sometimes you do that to yourself though, too, right? I don't know about you guys, but you get in the studio and you write a solo or a lick or whatever the case may be, and it's a little difficult for you to play while you're in the studio. You got to take it,
absolutely.
and
We write
then you got to go take it
that.
live, and you relearn it. You have to learn how to play it, maybe standing up too, because I don't know about you guys. I don't really stand up in the studio when I'm playing, tracking. But then you got to go do it standing up. That's a whole other learning curve, and you've already pushed the limits. Like, how is it for you guys? Like, when do you feel like you've really gotten in the groove on one of your? First of all, I guess the question would be, what is one of your memories? Like, what's a riff off the new record that was really difficult to lay down in the studio, and then you knew you had to go and tour with it and relearn it and figure out how to play it seamlessly without maybe some studio tricks involved?
I don't think that there's a single thing on this record that isn't absolutely fucked to play live.
Except for Genesis,
I'm so happy to hear that.
Right?
I'm so happy to hear that you guys are human, because when I listen to it on the record, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna talk to these guys and go out and show them. I'm like, I'm gonna take some lessons when we're in Amsterdam. I got to learn some chops from these guys.
Dude, what? Yeah, you got to show us stuff too, man. We'll just like fucking chop it up in the green room or something.
Dude, I can't wait to see you guys in person and have that hang in Amsterdam. For everyone that's in the Amsterdam area, that's June 24th. We're both bands, Avenged, Sevenfold, and Polyphia, are going to be out doing our European runs. And when we heard that you guys were out there, we're big fans. We were like, let's see if we could get them to do one of these one-off shows. It's festival season for Europe, so we'll be out there June 24th with these guys. For all you guys listening and watching at home. Really excited for that, because I do want to pick your brain here, but like, it's a little different. We're not sitting here with axes. Let's wait till we're in person for that, because mean, you guys.
No, that'll be super fun though, because we'll be in fucking Amsterdam, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, you got your bong there, by the way. Speaking of Amsterdam, I mean, I love Amsterdam. It's been a place. Luckily, our agent, shout out to Ryan Harlacker, has been with us for 20 years plus now. Oh shit, it's been maybe even longer. But yeah, he's done really good. And if I have a birthday while we're in Europe, he gives me a day off in Amsterdam. So it's been real fun there. But back to that bong. That's an interesting looking bong you got there, Tim.
Thank you.
What's going on there?
This is a water pipe made by the company Air. I have upcoming collaborations with them, and also like I'm just a smokeware fan, as you can see. There's like this one right here.
Yeah, what is that?
That's also a bong.
That's a bong. I thought it almost looks like a vaporizer of some kind.
No, it's just a bong. Yeah.
Okay.
And my hair also.
I also like your setup. Are you like in your master closet or something? You got your fucking robe on and everything. Like, that's.
Oh no, this is like the main studio room. Like, to my left is like the drum room, but this is just in the upstairs of my house. But I just like to like be comfy in the in home attire. But still, we've got like, this is a fucking pipe.
That's a pipe.
Yeah,
it looks like something out of fucking Men in Black, dude. You're gonna fucking erase my memory right now,
doesn't it? I love it. So, like, this is such a beautiful bong. Yeah. But yeah, like I've been like working on a bunch of smokeware lately. And so hopefully very soon I'll be able to like put some of it out. But yeah, I've got like a few of these downstairs, and like the new one, my new version coming on the way. So I'm very excited about it.
Dude. Well, I'll be on the lookout for that for sure. Let's get back to the music though, guys. There's some other collabs I wanted to ask about. This song ABC with Sophia Black. Another one that I'm listening to, first time through. And the core, when she starts singing, you guys have her singing the ABC super fast as you're doing like this fucking the jazzy run and stuff, right? I guess my question there is when you're doing these collabs with these singers specifically, are you guys writing everything for them? Are you just writing the songs and saying, here's our instrumental version of the song. What would you do on it? Or have you, like, where is the collaboration when it comes to vocal melody and lyrics?
It's definitely a mix depending on the artist. There's a lot of back and forth and trying to like figure out the puzzle. For that song in particular, I had the riff just by itself, and then did the session with Sophia and kind of asked her to just like
I'm still here. Sorry. My light went out. I was just gonna let you go.
I'm just like
listening, though.
realizing I'm only telling Scott, and I'm like, Scott.
Yeah, no, I would love
I
to hear
apologize.
that.
I apologize. The light went off. Go back. You're working with Sophia Black on ABC. Let's get back to that.
So I showed her the riff, and I asked her if she could sing the riff note for note,
Yeah.
and she asked me how many notes are in the fast part, um, and I said 26, and she was like, "Oh, well, how about the alphabet?" And I was like, "Whatever," and she just fucking
Whatever.
belted that shit out, like and she's fast. She's a very
Yeah.
fast writer. She had all of that written in like 4 hours, like the
Oh,
entire
shit.
all the lyrics of the song, and like all of her like different stacks and runs that she does. Like she had all of that like done really quick. And so then after that, Scott and I got to go back in around what she did and compose around her. So lots of back and forth with the song like Bloodbath. Scott, if you want to talk about that one.
Yeah, tell me about how Bloodbath
Bloodbath.
and Chino came together, man. 'Cause it's another great track. It's a little different too. I notice. Again, like I said, I just discovered you guys last year, so I don't know the entire back catalog, but definitely seems like this one with Chino is a little heavier. You go a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more structured as a. I don't know what to. I don't want to say normal, but like a a more regular rock song, I guess, with the structure.
Yeah, so Bloodbath started with a completely different, like if I were to show you the original idea for Bloodbath, you'd be like, this isn't the same song at all, because it was not.
Okay.
Completely different idea. And Chino sent us some stuff that ideas that he had for that, and it sounded like he was just like recording it on his phone or something. And we were like, okay, well, these are good ideas, but let's get him in the studio in front of a microphone with like a guy who knows how to record vocals because we kind of, I mean, we have some experience, but we wanted it to be like professional. So we did that. And
We also
we
brought
also
in
had,
a
yeah,
writer, our friend little Aaron, and Chino was like like super fucking like down to just like be like collaborative in that sense, and like was like super open to like all the ideas and executing the ideas so fucking cool. It was like imagine getting to have like one of the most legendary singers, in the studio with you, and like you're kind of like like getting to like pitch ideas, and then he takes them and gives them a life of his.
Yeah.
Just such a cool process that was.
yeah. By the
That
end of it, he was like, guys, I don't think I've ever really had anyone just kind of like shoot ideas at me like that. That was cool. I appreciated that. But when he did all of the, we left the studio and I'm thinking like, ah, shit, dude, the vocals are now cooler than the song. So, um, I rewrote all of like the whole thing basically. The only parts that I kept were the riffs that Tim added. Um, and all of my shit I just changed to kind of I just like morphed it around what he put to try to serve that better.
okay.
So that's why we have Bloodbath now. Um, that was a fun one though because and I guess now the bonus is we have this other song that may or may not, you know, happen. one
Yeah, I
day.
was wondering. So, what do you do with those riffs, and what was the direction? Like, was it like a complete 180 in direction of
I
riffage,
wouldn't
or
say a complete 180. It's
okay,
just
Yeah, it's still same vibe-ish.
okay,
yeah, but like just honestly, that other version works better instrumentally, you know. As far as
Yeah.
what happens with those ideas, will they just live in limbo until
Yeah,
I
nothing
don't know,
happens with them ever.
TBD? Yeah, we have so
until you
much
guys
shit
get
just
into the
in the
same house
vault.
and you're writing, and you have like writer's block one day. You're like, remember that thing? Let's see if we could go back to it, right?
Sometimes we do that, yeah.
Yeah,
It's odd because it's like, each one of those things is like a representation of like that particular time. And so
yeah.
like when I hear those things, it's like, okay, like it's hard to like imagine myself then because here I am now, you know? And
Yeah.
so we just have like a bunch of shit in the vault that like we might eventually like, I don't know, like now that there's like some being compiled up over like multiple records, like, and they're very clearly like not related to each other, maybe we'll just put out like a compilation of like b-sides for the fans.
Well, you could put together those old songs and call it the Lost record, and
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
spans it.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be very cool. I think a lot of your fans would like to hear it. I'd
Or
like to
just
hear
like
some of these different
unfinished
stuff. Yeah.
ideas or something, just because
Yeah.
if it's like we're never gonna work on them again, we might as well fucking like let people like listen to them.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're proud of them too, right? You don't want to just putting out shit you're not
Well,
proud
yeah, I mean that's
of.
yeah, I mean I don't know, dude. There's a lot of shit in the vault that I'm proud of. That
Yeah,
like it just never
it just didn't
found
work
a
at that
play.
time. Yeah, because
Mm.
you guys are talking about when you're writing, it's oh how do I put this? It's your muse of the time, right? Like it's really what's surrounding you right now that you're bringing in and using as a muse to create that, and what's going on in your lives, in your writing, in your playability. All of those things, I would imagine, are a factor into creating a song. But I guess take it further, when you guys talk about your muses of writing songs, right? And you have these tracks, like you have titles to them because and they're instrumentals. I've always wondered this on instrumental, like where do you come with a song title if there's no lyrics to it? Like you got a song like Ego Death with Steve Vai, no lyrics, amazing song, but kind of a conversational starter of a title with the Ego Death. So I guess on a broad scale, how do you guys come up with the song titles? Is it part of that time of writing? Let's start there.
We start from like album concept down to like songs. So
Okay.
for example, like Remember That You Will Die like starts with Genesis and ends with Ego Death. And like it's the story there is like we basically like it follows kind of this like AI that like becomes sentient and like decides to play God and all the things that happen in sequential order after that. So if you go like through the track listing, like it tells a story. So yeah, that, and then like a record like we have a record called Renaissance, which we knew that was going to be the name of the record before like we even had the record written. And then of course like all the like song titles on that one are all very like in that theme. And then we have records like The Most Hated, which we didn't really have a theme for. And so we were like, all right, well, what do we make this record about? And we were just like, all right, we'll just make it about us. And fucking, like Goose is named after, we were drinking so much Grey Goose at the time. Like that was like our fucking drink of choice. We have a song called 40 Ounce because there was a time where fucking like we were only drinking 40 ounces.
Yes. What was your 40 of choice? What was your 40 of choice?
Dude,
Bud
Bud Ice,
Ice.
baby.
Bud
Fucking Bud
Ice.
Let's go.
But
I was
Dude,
more
we
of a
fucking
Mickey's
get
man.
the
I was
40
more of a
ounces.
Mickey's
We'd
man.
like get 40 ounces, come over to each other's houses, and fucking like once 140 will get you pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, when I turned 21, it was fucking over. Which, by the way, when we were recording Muse, I turned 21 while we were doing that, so it was fucking crazy. But after that,
And that was the first time you drank, right? You never drank before you were 21, right?
Never ever, especially if my parents are listening. No, I honestly I wasn't really super into much shit.
Mm.
I
No,
started
literally,
when I
you
was like
started drinking at
half,
21.
halfway through 20.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
basically 21. If
Okay,
you had
Yeah.
to
okay.
fucking if 20,
Hey,
I was 20 and
which
a
is the way
half.
to go. At least
And
18.
Scott was
Yeah.
the first one
Well,
to turn 21. And so Scott had to be the one to go fucking do the beer runs for fucking like 6, 8 months before I turned 21.
How'd you
yeah.
carry the
And then
40s? How'd you carry the 40s out of liquor store? Because I would have to go pick up some
like
40s
fucking
sometimes
this
for the
baby
band.
would just
Yeah, but what? But
bring
you
them
got
out
like a
Yeah,
whole
like,
band.
yeah,
Like I dropped. I used to drop them a couple times
hold like
famously.
4 at a time in each hand.
Yeah.
me and Tim are really the only ones who would do the 40s. And then since we
Okay.
lived 5 minutes away from each other, I would be like, yo, there's one gas station in the same parking lot as the Blockbuster. And I'd be like, yo, you want me to pick up some 40s on the way fucking over? And he'd be like, shit, yeah.
Yo, and
Right.
also
Right.
every time we would go to a fucking party, every time we go to a party, it's like you go get a 40 each, right? And you go
Yep.
to a fucking party, you drink your one fucking drink, you hold it
Mhm.
you're the entire time, nobody fucking roofies you. You don't fucking like,
Fair.
have to like, you know whose fucking drink that is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a fair
Like
Yeah.
there's
point.
two 40s at this fucking party. One is mine and one is his.
Uh-oh,
Like
Tim
Even
and
if it
Scott
gets
are
set
here.
down, you know.
like and it's like such an easy like here's my fun for the night,
Yeah.
at this function, and like once I've had this, I'll leave fucking like shit's good,
Yeah,
That was
that's a
enough
hey
for us
man. That
back
sounds
then
like
too.
that's well planned out, guys. I'm not
Dude,
gonna lie.
literally it like worked out so well because like there were never any times where it was like, oh, like
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
he's
Wait, never?
everything's
Come
fine.
on, come on, come on. Never.
We didn't incorporate too much
Okay.
liquor during the 40 ounce times.
Okay. But then once
That
you're
came
on,
later.
once you're ordering Grey Goose by the case, when you're doing that record,
Yes.
that things are changing,
So
right?
yeah, so when we named 40 ounce, we were thinking of the past, and when we named Grey Goose, we were thinking of the present.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So it was
We have a song on that record called Crusty, which is basically like
rusty.
being crossfaded. Because we like to get
Ah,
drunk and
yeah.
high.
I love a good
um,
crossfade.
yeah, so that was just like I'm just getting crusty right now, like just like making up like little bits of
That's what I
slang.
wanted to know. So this is exactly. I'm so glad that there was at least one record where you're doing this because I imagine
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
hanging
there's been
with
a
friends
couple,
Yeah.
writing. I
like
mean,
new levels, new
again, you
devils,
guys
like
have been
that.
friends since middle school, like you said. You start playing together in high school. You create this fucking band. It's completely out of friendships, and so you guys are when you're writing. I imagine it's just like super fun for most of it. You're working hard too. Don't get me wrong, but it's got to be a lot of fun too, especially 3 albums ago, like you're describing. I would just imagine you'd be crossed, you'd be crossy, and fucking
Yeah,
someone throws out a
I
funny
mean,
word, and maybe that becomes the title.
it was definitely fun, but also stressful.
Mm.
Like those records were some of the most stressful we've ever had, and these
Where
days
was the stress
I'd
coming from? Where was the stress coming from, though?
deadlines. We had previous management that kind of told us like that the only way to like really do anything is to like the record tour cycle. Very
Mm.
old school like way of thinking,
Yep.
I think, but also like a solid one because so many like bands have built tremendous careers off of that. You know what I mean? But we were like really doing that, and so it was like as soon as we fucking get off the road, get in the studio, make a new record, fucking go do it again, right?
Mm.
Record every year, every 2 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the pandemic happened. We got new management. Fucking like this record took 4 years, which we're not proud of, but
No, no, it doesn't matter
uh,
the time. Let me tell you guys, it doesn't matter how long it takes as long as you get it done.
right. Well, also these days, like I feel like the creation aspect of it is so much like it's so rewarding. It was rewarding then, but also very stressful. But these days, like I don't know, I'm not really stressing about it. Are you, Scott?
Not particularly.
We're also
I
not in writing
honestly,
season yet.
Yeah, I mean, you guys still
yeah,
got some shows coming up. You guys are still in the
Yeah,
cycle
we're
for this
we're,
record.
we
we're still
do.
still technically in tour mode right now, but we've been
That
writing,
hasn't
which
stopped us from writing. Honestly,
yeah,
I
no,
feel
and
like
honestly, that's the fun part about it. It's like I know I need to be doing this other shit, but I want to write right
yeah,
now.
I kind of feel
Like,
better about it. Like during writing season, dude, I get to a point where like I'll have like this spurt of, write a ton of shit and then I'll get fucking
yeah,
burnt out for
right,
a
yeah,
long
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And I
and that's
haven't
kind of stressful in
experienced,
itself. Yeah,
Yeah, so when you're writing, when you know you're not supposed to be, it's like, ooh, okay, like almost
Oh,
procrastinating in a good,
it's like the mistress
more
when you're not
positive
supposed
way,
to be writing.
almost.
You keep going back to her. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of how we've worked in the past as well, up until this last record, and then moving forward though, like you guys are talking about, that was kind of the old head way of doing things, right? To your point, Tim, yeah, it did work. That was the way that
Dude,
it
I
was the
have to
way.
say that, like, that strategy
Mm-hmm.
mixed with like the correct team, like, and obviously like the, right time, right place, right music, right fucking like everything,
Of course.
obviously. But it works really well. It's like, I mean, we've kind of just been in tour mode since this last record came out, and like every tour has just consistently gotten bigger, and
Right.
it's a wonderful thing. It's a super cool thing to see like our fan base grow, and to just like welcome so many new people to the community of the fun stuff that we get to do, so it's fucking awesome.
Absolutely. And when you guys, and moving forward, do you guys think, since you are like writing, as you said, and been writing during this cycle, do you see in the future, especially when you guys have so many features with so many great artists, could you see yourself just being more of a single driven artist?
We definitely want to do that. It's just like, I don't know, we wanted to do that last time, but as like we started making more and more music, we realized like, okay, like we don't know which one's the single, but we like
Mm,
all of these. And what's really funny is that fucking like playing God, which is probably our biggest single to date, um, like was originally not going to be the first one, and it just happened last second, and it worked out really, really, really well. So like but there are some times where we know that we have a single, like, and that's the first one for the new era. Like Goat, for example, was that one for New Levels.
okay.
And like even playing God
Great song,
was
by
that
the way.
one.
That was a great
Thank
song.
you. And it's cool to know that like we have a new one, like we've got the
Hmm.
one for the new era, and fucking like it's just very exciting to like have that in your back pocket. Um, but
No, I'm
The
yeah.
glad
thing
you brought
about
up
like
Goat. I'm glad you
having,
brought up Goat though, real quick. I'm sorry if you don't mind, I go real quick, Scott,
oh
because I have
yeah,
a
yeah, of course.
question there on Goat. I listened to the song. You guys, it's one of the ones. I mean, you guys have probably done this a few times. And one of the ones that stood out to me where you feature, like, each member kind of has a featured moment, a little solo going on there. Do you guys do that pretty often, or is that just was that a goal in mind when you come up with a song like Goat?
That's kind of like the writing of that one, just kind of like all right. So for that one, Tim wrote like the intro riff, and then we like go into the chorus, which is the pretty much the intro riff with like intricacies, and then I'll do a verse, and then we'll go back into the chorus, and then like another, things like that. It's kind of just like whoever writes what, if it works, and that's what we end up with. Uh, you know, that part of the video will be on that person type of deal.
Okay,
Plus the way that his name's Jake wanted to film that video kind of like almost worked out just to make it like that anyway, like visually.
mm.
So it was
Yeah, I
pretty
mean, I'd
linear.
say making it like a hey, everybody needs a showcase is not the intention. You
No,
know,
no, no. And I didn't mean to suggest that it was the
no,
intent of
of course
anything, but
not.
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but like when I hear it, it's like it's kind of cool as a listener. So you guys know, like I'm just listening and I'm going, oh well, each one's I'm hearing the bass solo, I'm hearing the drum solo. You guys are typically going off on basically every song, but like it's more featured in that one.
Yeah,
And I thought
it's
it was
definitely
cool
more
moments.
separated.
Right, right,
Um,
right. There's a little
Yeah.
bit,
yeah,
few parts that are a little bit more separated than usual, and I wanted to bring that up too because you guys, as we said, the two other members of your band have been there now since 2016, and they're both named Clay, holding down the rhythm section. Was that like when you guys were holding auditions? Did you have to like turn everyone away that wasn't named Clay, or how did that fucking work out?
Yes.
um,
Only Clay can play rhythm in
Yeah.
I,
Polyphia.
I don't think it was that weird because like we had okay, so Jake, the guy who did the goat video, he has the way that we found that guy is through one of my students whose name is Jake. And like Jake found Jake. Jake did the G.O.A.T video. Little Jake has a father named Clay. And so fucking like we're like knowing like so many Jakes and Nicks and fucking like it's just all like the most basic names you can possibly imagine. And then Clays get thrown in the mix. We know fucking so many Clays. And I think what's the common link between all of them is that they're all Texan. Like we know these people from all different places of the United States, but they all come from Texas. Which like we didn't find out till later, you know what I mean? And that's the common thing. I think Clay is a very Texan name. And it just happened that way. But I guess Clay Ashelman, our drummer, he was playing, I think he was filling in for drums with this band called Invent Animate. And we needed a drummer for the music video because at the time, like we were like had just parted ways with our original drummer and decided like, well, you know, we got to drop this record. We don't even have a drummer. Like we'll just, you know, somebody's got to play drums in the video. And so like the drums were like, you know, like the virtuosic drums. And so like, we got a video of him playing it and we were like, yeah, he can play it. And then we see him come do it in person and we're like, oh yeah, this guy's good. But like one of the most immediate things that we noticed was like we had 40 ounces that day and he wanted one. And fucking dude,
he's fucking in. He's fucking in.
We had a wonderful fucking time that day. Oh my god, great. It was so fun.
That's great.
And it was like, and then after that, I was like, all right, well, you want to come do this? We have 2 more videos to shoot. You want to come do those? And he was like, yeah. So we drank the 40s there too. Every single one of those videos. Then we were like, well, we have this tour to do. You want to come do that? And he's like, yeah. So we drank 40s every night on that fucking tour. And then at the end of that tour, we're like, you want to just join the band? And he was like, yeah. And so he joined the band and then we drank 40s for a while. And then, and then it became Milwaukee Beasts for a bit.
Milwaukee
What was
Beasts.
that about, Scott?
Milwaukee Beasts?
Yeah.
What was
Those
that? Milwaukee
Milwaukee Beasts.
It was like do you remember like the Steely Reserve?
Yeah.
Oh.
Steely Reserve's good.
Fucking
Steel Reserve.
Yeah.
As I call it.
And just, you know, all the different kinds of 40s. And then like when it was like during the...
You guys became connoisseurs of 40s. I like it. You stepped it up. You went from Bud Ice and became connoisseurs of 40s.
I just want to put for the record, I would not dare drink a 40-ounce container of Steel Reserve. Those, I would only go up to 24. And that would be enough, dude. Those are fucked.
I love
and they were
40.
gross. But Jesus Christ, did they get you there quick? Anyway, dude.
Go ahead, Scott.
I was just gonna say, going back to the 40 thing before we move on. When we announced Clay Ashelman, as our official drummer of the band, we had each of us had a 40, and that was the picture that we posted.
Was it 2 40s each though?
It might have been 2 40s each.
Yeah, 40 hands in the photo for the announcement.
Yeah, did you guys go Edward 40 hands on it pretty often then?
No. But like, you know, just for the photo, like.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, we're
I
not
don't think
trying
I
to
could
like
drink that much physically, and I would have to pee so much, dude.
Yeah, that's why it's a game.
I guess that is the point. Yeah,
you know, it's kind of the fucking point.
You can't use your hands.
Well, what's that game we do with the timer, Scott?
Oh, we used to fucking it was basically like the game that was like a shot a minute for an hour.
Shot a minute, but like you know, with beer, right?
With beer, right? Because
so you take a shot glass and you have like just a beer thing once every minute for an hour.
Yeah, I guess it's called Power Hour, right?
Power Hour. Yes, Power Hour.
Dude, we would make it probably like 20 minutes in before we all were just like, holy fuck, this is a lot. Because if you do the math, it ends up being like 8 beers or something like that in an hour.
In an hour.
So, and you don't think it's going to be that much, but you do the math.
Yeah, you don't like that. Doesn't sound that crazy, right? Like one shot.
All right.
Beer,
I have a proposition. We're going to attempt this game after the show in Amsterdam.
Yo,
All right,
I'm down as
fucking
fuck. I'm down.
I
I'm
want
down as
to.
shit.
We'll get Coors Light though to make sure we're not
Hey,
doing
I
no
have a
fucking.
question for
Yeah, yeah. What's
you.
up, man?
Do you guys party like a lot?
We definitely. Yes. I will say. But it's
What's
definitely
your
been a little
method for
different.
like hangovers? Do you guys do like the what's that called? Like electrolyte something or
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah. I mean,
what's it
definitely
like?
Liquid
What's all
IV.
of it?
Liquid IV is definitely like the brand that I use the most for days
Mhm.
after, and just for being on the road. You guys know what it's like when you don't want to cramp up and shit, your fingers going fucking nuts and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that. So I just try to stay hydrated anyway. But yeah, definitely on top of it, if you're hungover, you're very dehydrated. That's part of it, and getting a Liquid IV. Flushing it out a little bit, I think, is kind of the
That's like
key.
the whole fucking like thing in your shit and like a bag
No,
and stuff.
that's no. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's like a
That would
powder.
be that would be an IV as well. That, in all fairness,
Yeah.
I'm talking about these little pouches of electrolytes. You can get them at like Costco or Amazon, and they just come in little pouches, and you add them to your water, and you drink it, and it's
Okay, word. Scott, we
yeah.
gotta tell Johnny to do that.
Dude,
Um
you know what I've been drinking? It's called Element. It's like the letters LMNT, and it's like a little packet thing, and it's like 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which
Oh yeah,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is good. Sodium
it's
is a big thing. Like you definitely like pickle juice is a good hangover
yeah,
cure.
pickle juice, yeah, dude, all that stuff. You know, we actually just started recently doing ginger shots too. We do the ginger
Yeah,
Yeah,
we love the
shots
ginger
every
shots,
day.
yeah.
That's more
I'm
just
trying
because
to
it's like fun though.
I would like to add as much wellness into our touring as possible, and
yeah.
especially if we're gonna partake in Power Hour uh, in fucking Amsterdam. Like I want
Yeah.
to have the proper precautions for all of these things because I want every day to feel fucking awesome. You know.
Yeah, I don't have a secret path for that one, buddy, because I got to be honest, I don't feel awesome every day when I'm drinking like that. But, yeah, I mean, the question of like,
Same.
do we party? Is like, yeah, and especially when we were younger. I feel like we've done two legs of the tour so far off of Libad and getting back at it after being off for like 6 years. So a lot of things change.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we're a few of us in the band, just namely me and Brian and Zach, are still pretty. We like to have some drinks. I'll put it that way.
Cool.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
definitely have some drinks with you guys in Amsterdam. That's
Hell yeah,
guaranteed.
let's go,
Hopefully,
man.
we got a day off too. I'd love if you guys are in town too. We got a day off. We gotta. Have you guys been to Amsterdam very often?
Yeah, we
A
spent
few times.
our last run there. We had a one at the beginning and one at the end, and so
Mm-hmm.
that was like interesting to be there at the beginning and also at the end.
That's so
But
rad,
also we
actually.
did that with France and London. So like it was just like this it was like really like, wow, here's the
Hmm.
beginning of the tour again. We just were here.
A real
Um
Groundhog's Day going on
in
there.
the same venues, right?
Yeah,
Same venues, and
Same
yeah.
I know
fucking
most
venues.
people do it like back to back, like 2 days in a
Yeah,
row,
yeah,
two
but
days in
we
a
had
row.
them at the end of the damn tours.
Yeah,
Um
so it was a little weird.
yeah,
Yeah, that
but
that is
the
bizarre. So you
Amsterdam I
guys, so on
remember
like a
being
day, so like on a day off in Amsterdam, let's say, you guys partake in the truffles and then go walking around the canals and
yeah.
red light district later at night. Have you been to a sex show while you've been there?
Have not done that one.
No,
Okay,
What's
it's
we
that
did
it's
like?
these.
so it's just something we did like one of the first times I was there. It might have even been the first time is we found out that psilocybin mushrooms was legal as well there and they were selling them and we were
That's
like,
what I'm
oh
trying to
fuck
get
yeah.
into.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll get into that in
Suicide.
Amsterdam, buddy. They got the good stuff.
Yo, all right. All
So we,
right.
we take some shrooms, we go walking around, having a fucking blast. Especially the first time we're there, we're in our early 20s, just fucking off, and see this sign for a fucking sex show. We're like, pff, we're all high and drinking and having a good time. So we go in. It's not sexual at all. It's quite comical, and I don't mean to be mean to the performers or anything like that, but it's
I
like
think we know what
it's
you
just
mean.
it's just kind of it's a cultural thing, really. I mean, like that's part of like I wouldn't say that's like the Holland's steep culture or anything like that, but like for the Amsterdam specifically, they've got a few of these things around. They do like banana shows. They have bachelor parties in there. And we kind
Wait,
of went
did you
back
say
to the same
banana
one.
show?
What's that?
Did you say banana show?
The banana show. They got a markers. One of the years we went back, the same performers were there, like fucking, and I don't know if they just worked that many times. Like, I don't know. They were the same performers, and it was like years in between when we had been there. We went in there. We told one of them, our drum tech, Jason Barry, who some of the Avenged Sevenfold fans know. I think we said it was his bachelor party or something like that. And so they brought him out on the stage and did some fucking funny shit. It was just like, it was bachelor party fun kind of thing. So
got it. Okay. Yeah.
I would go back with you guys. It's been a while since I've been, but I'd go back with you guys.
Well, we'll have to see what happens, I guess, when we're fucking in Amsterdam. But I guess what we'll do is keep this part out of the fucking interview.
Oh no! This is the clip out. This is the social media clip out I'm going to send you guys. What are you talking about? back to touring.
I think there's lots of shenanigans and fun to be had in Amsterdam, and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, man.
I think one time didn't fucking Travi do the shrooms and like freak the fuck out last time, Scott?
Yeah, it hit him kind of hard, I think, and he was also drinking, and he may have even smoked, so he kind of just like fell over.
Dude, I guarantee you that like the mental state of him during that time, and even probably to this day, is just not like equipped for shrooms.
Yeah,
you gotta find the right dosage and the right strain, just like marijuana, just like anything else, man. It's
dude. I don't even smoke weed when I'm not feeling right mentally. Yeah. It fucking freaks me out, dude. I'm just like, oh my God, what am I doing? Am I alive? Am I real?
I had that for a while, and then I got back. I mean, like, I always smoked in middle school and high school, and then in my 20s, anytime I did, I got paranoid in my head. And back into my 30s, I can do it again, and I'm just like, I'm so happy because it's just like, it's healthier too. Exactly, it's a good alternative to the booze. Like I talk about it all the time. Yeah, it's such a good alternative.
It's awesome. It's definitely better than drinking.
Yeah. I'm interested to try this kava stuff I keep hearing about too. Have you guys fucked with that?
Oh, I have heard about that. I knew a guy who used to like, he wouldn't like brew it and all that stuff. He would kind of just like get it at Sprouts or something and take it to like help him sleep and shit. And he said it was fucking awesome.
What is it?
It's called kava. It's supposed to, I don't know, what is it supposed to do? Just make you sleepy or?
No, well, I don't know specifically on that because again, I haven't tried. I had Wes Cage on the show. He used to drink. He's like, I don't drink anymore. I just have kava. And I was like, I've heard about this kava shit. Still haven't tried it. From my understanding, it comes from like a natural root of some kind, and doesn't have like the calories or the bad side effects of alcohol, but still gives you a buzz. So that's what I know. That's about the extent of my knowledge on it, but. It's supposed to be mind altering without, the crazy side effects, basically.
Lovely.
All right.
I'm
nice.
Absolutely trying to try that. Where does one acquire such thing?
What's that?
Where does one acquire such thing?
I've been getting ads for it on my Instagram. You know, those ads that come up on your searches, and like it's listening to me and probably keeps hearing me say, I really should slow down my drinking. And it keeps popping up. Kava. It's all, yeah.
I got to whisper it to my phone.
Oh, you'll start getting ads, dude. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, it's coming. You're all getting ads now. That's how it works.
Wait, it's a
before
restaurant.
We go further, though, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about touring because, you guys, how is touring like for Polyphia at this point? You guys got, this album cycle you've been doing. You've got shows in Japan coming up. I saw in May before you make it to June in Europe. So. How's the touring life been versus when you guys were sitting around watching Blockbuster and writing these songs together before you even knew what the fuck you're gonna do with them?
We focus a lot on comfort now.
Yes, our touring career has changed so significantly, and our attitudes towards it. Even I remember when we first started, it was very DIY. We bought a van for $1,500, and like drove it to shit on 3 tours and spent a bunch of time on the side of the road, like freezing, broken down, and fucking, like it was fucked. Like making like
paying the dues, man. Paying the dues.
$150 a night.
Dude.
Doesn't even cover gas to the next place.
Oh yeah.
And fucking like just dude, we roughed it for probably like 4 or 5 years.
A bit, yeah, because like we didn't. What year did we get our first bandwagon? Maybe like 2019 or something. We started touring in 2014. 18?
No, it would have been 17 that we got the first bandwagon.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so there's
you guys
a solid.
Are you guys calling a charter or a bus, a private bus, your bandwagon, or do you? Or
well, there's the bandwagon, and then there's the bus.
Okay.
Yeah, like bandwagon.
The bandwagon is
is
like the step before the bus.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's basically like it has bunks in it, but
it's got
basically
bunks. It's
like
got a shower
thing, trailer or something like that. Yeah, it's
okay,
got a shower.
like a big sprinter, like a sprinter van that's been outfitted with bunks and shit.
It's bigger. It's
bigger
because it's got like.
And I've never been on a bandwagon.
It's got like a living room and a shower.
Okay. It's like 80% the size of a bus, like a standard tour bus.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the back lounge.
Okay.
So there's no back lounge and there's no suspension. So like
it's bumpy as fuck.
Rickety death trap.
No,
bro, you would wake up in the middle of the night airborne and just be like, "Oh, this is it. I'm gonna die."
But holy shit, dude! The bandwagon days were so fucking fun. Oh my god.
Oh, they were fucking awesome. Oh, they were so great.
Because
it's the upgrade, you know.
Yeah, the step up from like eating absolute shit in the van to going to like having a bunk for the first time and like. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, it was
and not having to drive yourself. You have a driver. Mm-hmm. You guys drove yourself when you were in a van, I assume, right?
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Yeah, we'd drive ourselves. We'd sell our own. We did tours with no crew, just band, and sell our own merch, do our own TMing, fucking like, literally the whole shit. Like we couldn't afford crew.
Not only that, we didn't have fucking space for crew. Like, dude, our first van, it was driver seat, passenger seat, and in the back, 2 captain seats, and then all of our shit. No trailer. So I was like, there's only room for 4 motherfuckers, which we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good shit. And then after that, we upgraded to the bus life, and that's a lot more comfortable. And like Scott said at the beginning, like we do place a lot of value on comfort. I'd say the last tour that we did was probably like absolutely the best one ever. And especially like, I think the thing that changed was we added this dude named Johnny, and Johnny's role is to kind of just like facilitate like comfort for us. So like, like that's what he does. Huh? It's like so like in the mornings, Johnny, we'd wake up. Guy. Oh, he's so awesome. He's would wake up amazing, and like dude. We'd go into like our green room and like everything's all labeled like which one is ours, like specifically for band. And like all of the fucking snacks are laid out, like all the ginger shots, all the protein shakes, all the fucking blah blah blah. And then all the yoga mats are laid out. And
I'm getting excited, dude.
Dude, yeah. All we have to do is put our stuff down and start yoga. Right. As soon as we're done with yoga, we go to the gym. We like Uber to a gym somewhere. Come back. When we come back, there are filet mignons waiting for us. Like in whatever city, just like a slab of meat in a fucking to-go box. And some plastic fork and knife. And there's 4. Right. And so we come back from the gym and there's 4. And then we get on stage and we do sound check. And, like everybody, I mean, at least like I go up there and like I just go like this. And then the ears like end up in my ears and the guitar's on me and fucking,
Wow.
We do the thing and then fucking like we do the VIP meet and greet. And then we come back and we all go to dinner together, like the whole crew. And then we come back, play the show, super fucking fun time. And Johnny comes by to collect all of our stage clothes to like help us get packed up. Like, pretty much like we have to turn in stage clothes and in-ear monitors and fucking like whatever, so that they can pack all that up. And then we take showers, get on the bus.
get really fucking high, play some PS5.
Hang on a second. You forgot one very important part of the ritual. After the show, what do we have? Come on, baby. We have wings.
Oh my God.
You have wings
Well,
after
so that's
every
that
show?
one's like that one is like a little traumatizing for me now. Like not traumatizing.
Traumatizing.
Wait.
That's the wrong word. We've had it so many fucking times. Like I don't really like wings anymore. And okay,
You're
so
winged out.
I don't really
You're
order
winged
that
out.
shit at home
I don't know
either,
about
to be honest.
traumatizing, but you're winged out.
yeah, that's the
You
wrong
know,
word.
I mean, Tim, you got to be careful to use the word traumatized when you're
You're right,
describing how well you're being taken care of. Everyone at home listening is like, I want that fucking job. What, they wipe your own ass too?
Well, no,
Is
you're
Johnny
you're right,
out there
you're
with the
absolutely
dude wipes?
correct.
Is Johnny out there with the dude wipes or what?
Actually, yeah. We got some dude wipes.
Yeah, no, his,
They're
like
key.
his
They're
whole
key.
his whole thing is just to make sure that like our experience is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's
Gotta have a good
and
person
also
like that.
like I think that like he has a lot more roles than that. He's just so good at the thing that he does for us that I assume he has nothing else going on. But I'm pretty sure like he's like helping Joe, our tour manager, with like a ton of shit. But he's that sick at what he does. So
It's great
shout
to have a
out to
With
good
all
Johnny.
person
that
like
being said, all those like that most recent tour, Tim, that you're referring to, best fucking like rated #1 most comfortable.
Mhm.
With that being said, I gotta say, those fucking eating shit days, I wouldn't trade those memories for fucking anything, dude. We had some of the best
Yeah,
times on
absolutely. It
fucking
made
tour,
us who
dude.
we are, dude. Fucking like
God, it's
it
awesome.
builds character.
Yeah.
Damn right. I
But
love
dude,
hearing
here's
this.
the thing,
Guys, that's
like
the same thing. I'm hearing the same things. Like those are your college years, man. When you're paying your dues and eating shit, like those are your college years, really learning what's working and what's not. I mean, that's
That's so
how
funny to
you
think
learn.
of it that
exactly.
way. Literally the college years, because we didn't go to college.
Yeah, we just
No,
Like,
I didn't even graduate high school. How about you guys?
oh no, we graduated
I,
high school.
I did
Oh,
graduate
you
high
think
school.
you're better than me, Tim? Because you graduated high
I know,
school?
I got the GD.
I feel like I almost didn't though, because dude, I had senioritis like a motherfucker, dude. Like I got to that last year and I was like, all I want to do is music and not this. But dude, you know what? It's so funny you say. I was thinking about this yesterday. How like appreciative I am right now to have in at least like that much education. Like I can read and shit. Like I'm
Is
hearing a
that what
lot
they
of
teach you in senior year? Is that what I missed out on?
I learned how to read in senior year. Yeah, like I'm so glad that I stayed and just got
Just
that.
stuck
You
it out
know?
one more year and got those words in there, didn't you?
No, I bring that up because I see like, dude, I'm a TikTok doom scroller, and I see a lot of fucking like people saying like, oh yeah, I'm a teacher, and Generation Alpha is fucked. They're the iPad kids, and they don't know how to like do this and that. They can't do this, and I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I take for granted every day the fact that I have a good education.
Yeah.
But
That's
except for
that's a
last
that's a
night, I did
true
not
thing
take it.
though.
Kind of
What's that, man?
on
Yeah,
that
that's weird to
topic.
think about, right?
No, it's a real. So I got friends that are teachers and stuff. So like, and they went through the pandemic. I think that's what we're during the pandemic. It changed on for like the elementary school level, right? Because it skipped a couple grades and they're coming back and they're now in third or fourth grade, and they've missed out on some of these basic skills that they would have learned in first and second grade. And once they're coming back, these third and fourth grade curriculum is beyond that, and they're like, well, I'm a teacher of this curriculum. I'm not a teacher of 2 years ago that was curriculum that they were supposed to learn. So like,
That's
it's just
interesting. I
they're
didn't think
super
about that.
behind. Yeah, they're just super
Yeah.
behind because of that.
Holy
It's
shit.
unfortunate.
Sad.
And but then I have the question. I'm like, oh man, that's sad. Like that sucks. But it's a reality. So how do you fix it? You know what I mean? Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it just sucks. Like, oh, they're just never going to be able to read. Like, no. So change the curriculum. Like, I understand it's not that easy. I'm not claiming anything like that. But I guess what I'm saying is I try to look at things more as an opportunity for a solution rather than being super bummed about. There's bummed out shit all the time. I mean, we've gone through it. We've been eating. We were talking about the eating shit years. Like, you learned from those eating shit years and figured out what solutions were going to work to get you to the next place, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel like with our music, we're trying to educate people who can't read because we have a song called ABC that teaches you the alphabet.
And even in a
Right
different
there.
language, you're teaching
I'm
them
joking,
too.
by the way.
No, I know. What
That
language
was
is that,
totally
by
a
the
joke.
way?
We're not
You
trying
were
to be
like become
educational.
like reading like
It's the reading rainbow.
like
It's the
it's
reading
like
rainbow with Polyphia.
Hooked on
yeah, we're
phonics,
like
dude.
What
yeah,
language is
we're
that,
just trying
Sophia
to
Black?
push reading on kids like
Yeah.
Push reading. Like you have to
Like-
push it like it's a fucking drug.
Yeah, dude.
No, dude, going back to what you said about appreciating your education, but also like that was the thing that really like changed for that tour for us, that why it was so good was because we started just like being like expressing gratitude towards everything, you know, and then it just got fucking awesome. And that's something that like me in particular, I have been such a fucking like probably I know a fucking downer to tour with, like for most of our career, like and fucking that's just because like any fucked up thing that happens, like it was so always so hard for me to like, look past it and move on. I'd always dwell in it and fucking, like my energy would be fucked up and like it would seep out to everybody around me. And you would just be like stuck with me in a confined space for an extended period of time, like with me with that shitty fucking attitude. And then like this past tour, like I tried to like, have you heard of burnt toast theory?
No. What's burnt toast theory?
It's the idea that like anything bad that ever happens to you is actually like just for your greater good. So like nothing ever actually bad can happen to you. Like in the sense that like, what you were saying about like paying your dues at the beginning, like it's like that's just part of the journey,
Okay.
know. So I guess like even the toast is burnt, like you still have toast,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
Teaches some gratitude and appreciation, I guess. Yeah. I mean, that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. And so like, dude, there was like I was like coming off of like some not so great tours like right before that, where like I was like off my antidepressants and just like unstable and fucking, all sorts of shit. And I for this tour, like I was back on my medications and fucking, going into it trying to have like a much more positive attitude. And like one of the first things we had like a little a run up to a festival. So it was like 3 shows in a festival, like a couple weeks before that tour. And it was like a little trial run to like get warmed up for the tour.
Yeah. Little warm up leg. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like we get there and like one of the first things that I noticed is like, oh fuck, like the bus is like from like the 1980s. Um and so like I get on there and like I'm looking at the kitchen and I'm like, this bus is literally from the fucking 1980s. Like it's a 1980s kitchen in here. And like I don't know why, like I just that like was like what I was thinking. And then I caught myself thinking that and I was like, dude, we could be in a fucking van.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, good.
Yeah.
Grass
Like
is always greener
where is
around here.
why is my head so far up my own ass? I said, like, that's what I'm thinking. I just like, dude, we could be in a fucking van. And then I just started thinking, this bus is so fucking awesome.
There you go.
This bus is literally so fucking awesome. And like, I just, for everything that happened that way, I just flipped it into fucking like, well, it could be this, I'm like, this is incredible when you think about it like that,
Yeah.
and so of course the run that we finished that run 2 weeks later happens and we start the main tour. And of course the bus that we get is just brand new PS5s in that bitch. Like, we're gonna play PS5, baby. It is like everything you could ever want, right? And like that was like the universe telling me like, yeah, that's how you're supposed to look at things,
Yeah.
So it was just like
appreciate what you have and don't focus on what you don't.
Exactly,
is really
yeah,
what it comes down to.
yeah. And so like that made the whole tour just fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's so interesting you bring up before even just the gratitude. You mentioned just, being around your bandmates and other people, crew, everybody, and that bad attitude creating a certain energy. And I think that that's important for people who maybe aspire to be on tour one day and everything is not every day is a good day. You know what I mean? And not every day needs to be. That's just that's part of getting along and figuring out the road together with whoever it is around you. You got to be able to get along. You got to have that energy. Not everyone can do it. That's one of the parts. Like, there's a lot of great guitar players. There's a lot of great musicians out there. Maybe some of it they wouldn't be able to tour though. You know what I mean? That touring aspect, and you guys have been doing it for so long. You can understand it, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think
Dude,
that
another thing.
Go ahead, Scott.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say, like, for us specifically, like all right. So we told you about the eating shit, like the very first one,
Mm-hmm.
and then like where we are now. That all starts. It's basically like a snowball effect, I guess. With like, okay, the first tour we just did, the four of us. That was kind of rough. What can we do to make that better? Okay, well, let's bring someone to handle merch. Can we afford that? Maybe not. Let's fucking try to afford that. And you kind of just like work towards getting like one thing this tour, a couple things the next tour, another thing like this tour. And you just build, you figure out what you need, and then you figure out how to be able to get what you need for the next thing. And like, this is like at this point 10 years now of us with tour experience and just knowing like, okay, we need this now. We need to have all of this stuff. And right now we're at the point where like we need to make sure that we are just mentally just on top of our shit for this tour, to be on tour. Cause I mean, like we've done plenty of tours where it's like, fuck, we have to go on tour. But really it's like, come on, dude.
We
Tour
get to
kicks
go on
ass. You get to
Yeah.
play the fucking music.
get to
That's
go
why we
on
picked
tour
up our
all this time
instruments in the
writing.
first place, is for the opportunity to be on a tour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
fucking
dude.
You got to
incredible.
remember that. You got to. It's
Dude,
easy
it's-
to
It
forget.
really is
so-
amazing.
But on that
so-
though, what is something though? Okay, we talked about the fillets, the wings, the yoga mats. Everything's fucking to the nines right now with you guys. What is the one thing for each of you that you can't have, that you can't go without? Rather,
Mm,
That's a good one. I don't know. Shit.
like maybe something that's like on your rider, or something that's like,
well,
you
just
know, something
John.
that Johnny's grabbing. You just need Johnny. You just need
Yeah,
Johnny.
Johnny.
All right,
No,
right,
literally
right.
without
Everybody
Johnny,
needs a
General.
little Johnny in their life. Let me tell
No,
you.
literally that. Like your life, you know, when you don't have to worry about like mundane things, like where's the fucking bathroom, you know, like because somebody's
would,
gonna guide you there.
Yeah.
You know?
This one's kind of
It's
obvious.
Oh my God, Tim! Where the fucking bathroom
I
is.
just processed that.
You're
I
gonna
guess this one is,
you're gonna have like one of the most epic Spinal Tap moments, Tim. And I wanna have you back on to tell me when it happens, because I know it's gonna happen. If you need to be guided to the bathroom, I want to know like what the Spinal Tap moment is once you got Johnny under a few more tours, because something's gonna happen. I know it.
dude.
I
We
need to rewatch Spinal Tap to understand.
That's
the rest.
gotta be a bus standard. You gotta have that.
I
on
never
every
finished
bus.
it.
Whoa.
I never went. And you know what? Like we just watched it. Like last year was my first time seeing it.
Wow.
And
Out of
I
all those
wasn't there that night.
blockbuster stops, you guys didn't do a pull of Spinal Tap. I'm disappointed, guys. I'm
Dude.
disappointed.
Well,
Bro,
my dad
I'm-
showed it to me a couple times. It's been so long. I actually remember what the movie was about. You know, like I
Dude,
remember the
I
cucumber
fucking-
scene. I remember.
I thought they were a real band for
Yeah,
all the way up
literally that,
until
yeah.
last year. I thought they were a real fucking band, and then
Oh, they
like
were a real
Chris
band,
was
all right.
like, "Dude, no, it's fake. It's a movie."
You guys don't remember when Sniff the Glove came out?
No,
Fucking top of the charts, man. Top of the charts.
I-
Actually, it did
Yeah.
really poorly in the movie. It did really poorly in the movie. All right. Well, dudes, thank you guys so much for being on the show and getting to know you guys before we meet each other in June. Lastly, you guys are going to be here on March 1st in LA, just the pair of you, right? You got something going up at the Wiltern.
Yes.
What's that about?
Yeah, we're so Mike Dean. Are you familiar with Mike Dean?
No, I'm not.
He's the guy behind like all the crazy synth sounds and like just a lot of the production of pretty much like every Kanye record.
Oh, okay. Familiar with
and
his work, didn't know his name. Gotcha.
Yes, I mean if you go to his website and you look at like this like his credits, you're just like, oh fuck, he's that guy.
Okay.
Also, he's a fucking legend. Um, but yeah, so he's having his show, and I linked up with him like a couple weeks ago at his crib, and we were just like in the studio jamming and shit, like high as fuck, ripping bongs like all day, and like he was just like, yeah, I think like he looked over to his engineer and he's like, yeah, I think I found my opener, and I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm down, fucking. And he told me that he's got a show on March 1st, and which is in like 2 weeks, and we were like,
by the time this episode comes out, you might have already gone through it, but so how was the show, guys?
But yeah, it was fucking awesome. It was actually super incredible, and one of the best.
No, it sounds like the hang with Mike Dean and getting the show. Yeah, sounds like you guys shared some 40s afterward. Maybe had a good time at the Will Turn.
Yeah, it was a wonderful time, and I can't wait to. No, it's already happened. It's fucking incredible. I can't wait to watch the video.
So you're working, but when you mentioned working with Mike, you guys are in a studio just jamming and stuff. Like, have you worked with Mike Dean before? Is that something you would venture into a possible collab moving forward?
This was the first time that like we linked, and like I've been like a huge Kanye fan for fucking forever. You know what I mean? So like this is like a goated moment for me. And like getting to like go to his crib and like fucking like jam with them just all fucking day like was just so incredible. And we had like we recorded 3 20-minute long jams, and like just over the past couple of weeks I've just been like sifting through them and like turning them into ideas and sending them to him back and forth and shit. And like just a couple days ago he called and was like, okay, so let's talk about the show. And I was like, oh, this is happening for real. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, let me like call everybody on my team and fucking like do what we can to make this happen. So I immediately called Scott, and Scott Scott was like, I'm down as fuck. And we talked about basically what we're gonna do is like, it's not like a full Polyphia thing. Like we're gonna play like Genesis and All Falls Apart and like shit that like the Mike Dean crowd would fuck with, and then do like more like improv, like because like just like on some jam shit, like, and then we're gonna like get up and jam with Mike during his set, and cool. Fucking like it's fucking crazy, like just because Mike is goated, and I don't know.
Dude, that
it's
sounds
just like a really wild thing that like it's just happened in the last couple of days, and it like literally like was announced before anybody on my team is on copy. You know what I mean? just through text message.
I love messing with the team like that. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I mean, dude, like my team's like, yeah, it's like hip hop, so like we get it. Like I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
which you guys have a lot of influence on that too. Like I said, like my first introduction was Genesis, the song that you just mentioned there again too, and that was something
that
I
song
was
like
really
got
cool.
started with. Do you know who Rodney Jerkins is?
No.
He did "Say My Name" by Destiny's Child, and like all the Michael Jackson shit, and fucking like with like Quincy Jones. And
so basically, it's someone I should know again, like Mike Dean.
Yeah, like so, like him and like Timbaland.
I'm not the encyclopedia of music that I should be.
Yeah, like him and like Timbaland are like the producers of that time.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Makes sense. Again, know the word, like, don't know the man.
Yeah, I got to like go over to his house and like work with him for a couple of weeks, and like that idea like initially stemmed from like us like jamming, which was like a cool thing to like another cool instance of working with like a goated producer on something cool. But anyways,
that's so rad.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I just love. I was just mentioning that I love that you guys have that element, because a lot of times you see guys like yourself that just shred on the guitar, and you hear progressive, and you think, oh, it's progressive metal, but it's not. Like when I listen to you guys, that's not the vibe I get at all. It's just it's something new, it's something different, and it's very cool. It does have influences from so many different places that you can hear, but you find a way to make it your own. I mean, I'm just a big fan, basically, coming down to it, and can't wait to see you guys in June and continue a friendship.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you
Oh, yeah, dude.
for inviting us to play with y'all. Like we are fucking stoked as hell. Like it's
our honor, man.
honestly
honor.
like, you know, we're gonna do all the festivals and stuff like for that run, but like just to do like a one with y'all is cool as hell. So we're stoked.
No, the
Thank
pleasure
you.
is all ours, and I can't wait for that to come. And you guys, so you'll be in LA on March 1st. I leave the next day, unfortunately, so I don't know if I'll be able to see you this time around. But we'll definitely hang in June and have a couple
Yeah.
of drinks.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well,
Sounds
we look
good.
forward to it. We look forward to Power Hour.
Power
Oh,
Hour's
yeah.
coming.
Hold you
Amsterdam.
to it, dude.
You don't need to look too far to find me. Don't worry.
8 beers ready for each of us.
Yeah. Hey, it'll be Amsterdam. It'll be fun. It's going to be a good time. But so everyone, if you're in the Amsterdam area, you want to go check out that show, please do. Of course, go check out more of Polyphia. Easy enough to find. They each have their own Instagrams as well. We'll throw up in the description. All that fun stuff. Thanks again to you guys, and thanks to everyone at home. Until next time, as always, cheers.
All right. Thanks, man.